again. Headed to Dallas again. In this video, we are going to be talking about healthy habits to get fit and stay fit. And like I said, these are healthy habits, so you can consider them lifestyle changes. No crash dieting, no eliminating any kinds of food, no dieting pills or anything involved. It's all maintainable ways to stay healthy, lose weight, and then maintain a healthy weight. So my first tip is probably my biggest tip and most important tip when it comes to losing weight and maintaining a healthy weight. And that would be to not accept free food. If you've eaten before or you're really not hungry, you're just kind of grazing and snacking, that's additional calories that you don't need. Of course, if you go to something and you're planning on eating there, you're planning on eating the snacks and you're hungry, then eat them. I work with Red Bull and we are constantly going to different businesses, giving the employees Red Bull. It's all complimentary. And a lot of times we go to different food places and they offer us free food. They just have a very kind staff and the managers there are amazing and they always offer us free stuff. But normally I bring my own meals to work. I just pre-make them and then bring them with me so that I have something I can eat since the shifts are 6 hours. So there's no reason for me to say yes to a free Chipotle bowl or a bag of chips with salsa. So whether it is someone literally offering you free food for whatever reason or just food laying out on a table for a party or an event, try your best to eat before, bring your own snack, and don't just graze because you will end up eating way more than you planned. It always works out that way. So my number one tip is don't accept free food. My number two tip, starving doesn't always mean completely restricting yourself from food. Starving yourself can also be skipping breakfast when you know you need breakfast, but you do it because you don't want to waste a bunch of calories. Now, if you participate in intermittent fasting and that's kind of your lifestyle plan, then this doesn't really apply to you because a lot of times people's intermittent fasting, they don't start eating until 2 and their window period is later on in the day. So if your body's used to that, then you don't need to listen to this. That's a lifestyle that you chose and it works for some people, it doesn't work for all people. But if you're the kind of person who wakes up in the morning and skips breakfast because you don't want those extra calories, I can assure you, you will end up starving later on throughout the day and eat even more calories than you were originally trying to eliminate because your body's just so hungry. And a lot of times when you're in that state, you end up going for something unhealthy because your body's just wanting something and you start getting all these very unhealthy cravings. So avoiding breakfast if you do not participate in intermittent fasting is not a good idea. Your metabolism is going to slow down if you're not getting the nutrients you need throughout the day. And that brings me to tip number 3, and that is to always have a snack in your back pocket. And this can be an actual snack, but it can also be bringing pre-made meals with you. So for me, when I know I have a long day, especially when I have work the next day, I like to pre-make my meals the night before. That way I never have to resort to eating something that could potentially be unhealthy because it's the only thing I have access to. I know I'm acting like I live in the complete countryside. I live in Austin and there are many different options around me, but it's not always that I can't find something healthy, but sometimes, especially balling on a college budget, I just don't want to spend the money. So if I have food with me, then I'm not inclined to spend money or potentially resort to eating something that isn't necessarily healthy for me. My 4th tip is cut out, or at least limit, the liquid calories. I know it's so easy to consume so many liquid calories when you go out because alcohol has so many calories, even in just one shot. In one shot of tequila, I believe there's around 70, and then in vodka, there's around 90. I recommend switching over to tequila because it is a little bit healthier than vodka. I honestly don't really think vodka has any benefits, but tequila actually does have a few benefits. When I go to the bars, I always order a tequila water. And it's disgusting. I'm going to be completely honest. It's so gross. But I've gotten used to the taste of it, and that just really helps to reduce the amount of calories that I'm intaking. I've also noticed that my hangovers are not as bad. I used to always order a cranberry vodka. That was like my go-to drink, but I would always feel so sick when I was going to bed, and then even worse the next day. So if you're 21, I highly recommend switching over to tequila. It's a hard switch to make. And most importantly, don't get a bunch of sugary add-ins in your drinks. This means when you're at the bar or you're at a restaurant, try to avoid ordering straight from the menu. And those sugary drinks and high amounts of alcohol is also what contributes to stubborn fat. For girls, we definitely have issues with lower belly fat. And alcohol and sugar are two things that contribute to stubborn belly fat. So I'm going to finish my last few tips here. As I was driving back, the traffic started getting a little bit crazy closer to Dallas, and even though I wasn't holding my phone or really looking at it, it was still propped up there, and I didn't want any distractions when there's a bunch of moving cars around me. So I decided to finish everything right here in my house. So for my tip number 3. Okay, hi, who let me into tea? Obviously I can't count. This would be tip number 5. It's going to be to get on a schedule, and that schedule applies to eating. So once you have your work schedule figured out, your school schedule, whatever it is, try to get on some type of eating schedule where you eat your meals around the same time every single day. That way your body isn't going to be tricked into thinking it's hungry at a random time during the day. It's going to slowly but surely get used to eating at certain times and getting hungry around certain times, instead of just you snacking all throughout the day and not really knowing if you're actually hungry or if you're just bored. I am going to admit, I'm a terrible human when it comes to drinking water. I can literally go all day without ever taking a sip of water. I'll drink a coffee in the morning, a Red Bull at work, and a pre-workout when I go to work out, and then I'll even sometimes have my chocolate greens, and I'm not really thirsty. I don't really want anything liquid anymore because I've been drinking liquids, but it's not water. Water is so essential, not just for your skin and for your organs, but it's also important when it comes to your healthy lifestyle, because a lot of times you may be really thirsty, but your body is going to be tricked into thinking that you're hungry. So you're going to be eating thinking that you're still hungry, when in reality, you're just thirsty. I highly recommend getting a reusable water bottle or a few of them because, save the ecosystem, don't waste plastic, but also because you can bring that around. A lot of times there's insulated water bottles you can get that will keep your water ice cold. I feel like water's so much better when it's cold. I feel like everyone thinks that, but incredibly important. Drink your water. Try to set a goal for yourself throughout the day of how much water you should consume. So that is my final tip. Drink your water. These small things really, really will affect you if you do them all properly, and try your best to follow them. And I know some of them did kind of seem like common sense and you've probably heard them before, but that's why I try to give an explanation as to why you should drink a lot of water or why you should get on a schedule. It's easy sometimes to just go to Google and type in ways to lose weight, and you'll find a blog that'll just have a bunch of different ideas on a list, but it won't really have an explanation as to why you should drink more water or why you should do this or do that. So that's why I try to really give you guys reasons behind every single one of those tips. And I know at first it can be hard. For example, switching from a cranberry vodka to a tequila water, that's not always fun, but I promise you in the long run, it will benefit you in so many different ways, and you're going to feel better, and following these tips, you're going to look better as well. So if y'all have any questions about anything I said, or you want even more elaboration on some of the things, do not hesitate to reach out to me. If you want to see a certain video or me to talk about something in the next video, please leave a comment, and remember to like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it.